and their social networks, and aren't bothered by these negative typed-in messages. And so, yeah, it's personalized now to each individual. And one of the creepy aspects of mind control, not being able to tell your own thoughts, desires, and feelings from those injected. One colonel who was working on this technology, it was called psychotronics at the time, he said with 5 channels, the target feels sympathetic influence. At 12, it feels like an alien influence, and at 15, it's they cannot distinguish their own thoughts from those injected. So yeah, it depends on the level of technology being used on the person, and in the worst case scenario, maybe we all are being influenced and controlled, and subliminal messages are being piped into our dreams and our heads. Hopefully it's not that bad, and it's they're just working on targeting specific individuals, which makes the weapon system much more powerful than just blanketing over a population. They're testing every aspect of mind control, and they haven't really conquered the human mind. And one of the more interesting aspects is that of remote influence. Now, remote viewing has connotations of voodoo, but this is all based on technology. And this is cloning the visual cortex and audio cortexes of the human brain onto another person, or integrating it even with computer systems. So the combinations they're called hive minds. So if you're trying to create a really efficient work group, the CIA right now uses about 3 or 4 people in a group, and they synchronize their brains, their minds, and their major rhythms. And that's when secrets begin to sleep, as Colonel John Alexander said. And during this phase, well, it's great for interrogation, mind probing, but it's also a state of increased intelligence. You're, in a sense, adding brain tissue, but wirelessly, virtual neurons to each of the participants. You can see that might be a great swarm theory, they call it, by the RAND Corporation, or Beowulf clusters. Wolf clusters is another term that's used, where you can network human beings faster than you would through cell phones, for example. And there's no evidence of it. So the brain itself is the receiver, and the active sensing technologies are able to pick that up. And so there's no evidence that they're in some sort of spy group or black ops mission. So it's used, it's being tested for that as well. In the experimentation, there are people we found that just get B2K, and the B2K is only positive, although that's a rare case. Usually it's always negative messaging. Some people get tortured. Some people get both. And it runs the gamut. So you can imagine, if you're trying to test a new drug, you want a random sample, and you want to pull out all the different variables, and it's called discriminant function analysis. And so you want to test it on different people in different types of variations of the hypnosis, of the mind control, of the stalking, and to see what is most effective. And they've found a way to automate it and literally ramp it up. And I think that's one reason why we're seeing more TIs. It could be also that more TIs have access to the internet, and that's helping people get together and share notes. But it does look like it's being ramped up.
Yeah, and to me it looks like it's going more toward a societal or a large span of people, crowd control, the thought control of a nation type of thing. I mean, that's right. It's not going to just be controlling this one and that one individually. It almost seems like it's got to go nationwide or even worldwide.
This is more effective than normal propaganda. You can affect people while they're sleeping and working. They don't even need to shut off their televisions to get programming. So every country in the world, of course, their goal is to shepherd their people into one conformed thinking pattern. You can understand why this is so top secret. The very concept of free will is destroyed. We've been debating this for thousands of years, and to have that argument finalized, well, all of Western philosophy, and from crime and punishment to religion, relies on this concept of free will. They can't just announce it and then say, oh, by the way, we've been running torture experiments on people all around the world. There is a weapon system discussed in my book called Satan, and it stands for Silence is Fascination Through Adapting Networks. So you can imagine you have a behavioral modification tool, weapon. You can have dial-in lethality simply by manipulating the humans themselves to hurt themselves. And it uses all the best medical discoveries except in the negative. Fire can be used to keep people warm and heat food, kill bacteria, or it can be used to burn down villages. And so this is the extreme example of weaponization of the medical profession. Once you understand how large of a sample set, how